truth tellers, whistleblowers, people that stand for the truth and wish to communicate that to others, we are often persona non grata.
In the middle of all the madness, when Jimmy Kimmel was on the verge of being wiped off TV forever after his Charlie Kirk comments, Katt Williams slid right into the storm like only he can. And let's be real, Katt lives for this kind of chaos. This man's whole legacy isn't just about making people laugh. It's about throwing out unfiltered truths that slice way deeper than anybody expects. From his raw stand-up sets to his unpredictable interviews.
I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good, baby, and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none.
Katt has never held back. If something's on his chest, he's saying it no matter how messy or risky it sounds. So when he pulled up to the Sherry Show on Thursday, it didn't take long for Sherry Shepherd to test him. She stared him down and asked the very thing people have been whispering all week. Free speech is a hot button topic right now. Do you feel like when you're on stage, do you have to, in any way, censor yourself? Do you feel like in any way it will shut down for you? That's the kind of question that usually makes celebrities choke. But Katt, he leaned back with that sly grin, clearly ready to stir the whole pot on national TV.
I think you're asking me, if you were to drive 100 miles an hour, would you be more cautious? I think the answer should be yes. Freedom of speech, yes, that is something that we all have, and yet there's another thing that exists in our world. Truth tellers, whistleblowers, people that stand for the truth and wish to communicate that to others, we are often persona non grata. I'm lucky every day to wake up as an American in the greatest country in the world, and I never lose sight of that.
Instead of dancing around it, Williams hit the crowd with two heavy truths. First, he admitted he does choose his words carefully, because in today's world, one slip-up can be the end of your whole career overnight. The cameras are always rolling, the clips get chopped, and before you know it, a joke turns into a headline that ruins everything. But then Katt dropped the real bombshell. He said that the moment you start speaking real truth, society flips on you. According to him, people don't actually want honesty. They want jokes, distractions, and laughs. But the second you sprinkle in raw reality, suddenly you're seen as a problem, even an enemy. The way he laid it out had the whole studio shook. It wasn't just about comedy anymore. Katt was pulling the curtain back on the whole culture we're living in right now. That tension, that uncomfortable silence after his words, it said everything. Because deep down, everyone knew he was hitting on something way bigger than just punchlines. And don't forget how wild the timing was. Katt's words dropped just 2 days after Jimmy Kimmel finally crawled back onto ABC, fresh off his suspension for cracking those sharp remarks about the Charlie Kirk shooting. His removal wasn't just a TV hiccup, it set off a firestorm. People were shouting about censorship, screaming cancel culture, and debating how far a comedian can push before the networks come crashing down on them. Katt stepping in right then, that was like tossing gasoline on a fire that was already blazing out of control. By the weekend, the drama didn't just heat up, it bottomed out into pure chaos. The MAGA squad went into full panic mode, scrambling to rewrite the narrative around Kirk's killer. Instead of facing the fact that this tragedy touched their own backyard, they twisted the story in every direction possible, trying to frame the shooter as anything but one of their own. It was political theater at its dirtiest, exploiting a death just to score clout and push talking points. Watching them spin, this was messy, shameless, and honestly, disturbing on a whole different level. And just when you thought the circus couldn't get wilder, the heavy hitters came crashing in. FCC Chairman Brendan Carr reportedly planned to hit Jimmy Kimmel and his team with a formal warning over those on-air comments. That's government heat, not just Hollywood drama. Then media giant Nexstar threw gasoline on the flames by announcing they were considering pulling Kimmel's show across their entire network lineup. Imagine that. One of the biggest late-night stars staring down the threat of being erased coast to coast. The message couldn't have been louder. Say the wrong thing, and your platform can vanish in a heartbeat. Careers built over decades can crumble with just a few words. That warning shot wasn't just for Kimmel. It was a chilling reminder to every comedian, every entertainer, and every truth teller watching from the sidelines. Let's keep it real. This battle over censorship in comedy ain't new. Comedians have been fighting this same war for years, and every time it feels like the stakes get higher. Back in 2022, Katt Williams sat down with Arsenio Hall and straight up admitted that free speech was under full-blown attack. He didn't sugarcoat it. He pointed at the growing list of comics who were being dragged through the mud, labeled canceled, or even blacklisted just for cracking jokes on stage. Jokes, stuff that once was sacred territory, the whole point of comedy, suddenly became career enders, costing people money, contracts, and even their reputations overnight. Now, when you break it down, the First Amendment was supposed to be the iron shield protecting all this madness. It literally spells it out in black and white. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. That's supposed to be the proud foundation America flexes on the world, yet here we are, watching it get twisted, bent, and blurred depending on who is talking and what side their words land on. For a lot of people, Jimmy Kimmel's suspension didn't just expose network politics, it exposed how fragile those rights actually are. If a late-night heavyweight with millions of viewers, corporate backing, and a giant platform can be yanked off air even for a minute, then what chance does the average everyday person have when they try to speak their truth? That thought alone is chilling, because it shows how quick the system can shut anybody down if the message doesn't fit the moment. And now with Katt Williams throwing his raw, unfiltered perspective right into the fire, the volume on this whole debate just got turned up even louder. His voice doesn't just add noise, it's a megaphone blasting straight into the culture, forcing everyone to face a question they don't want to answer. Is free speech really protected, or is it just an illusion we've all been sold? Even Joe Rogan couldn't sit this one out. He had to jump headfirst into the chaos, and of course, he did it with his trademark warning shot. Rogan called out the right-wing crowd directly, pointing out how some conservatives were almost giddy watching Jimmy Kimmel get dragged, acting like his near cancellation was some kind of victory lap. But Rogan flipped it back on them. His message was sharp. If you're clapping while somebody else gets silenced, don't be surprised when that same hammer comes crashing down on you. Cancel culture is a two-way street, and Rogan wasn't shy about calling it what it really is, a slippery slope that eventually eats everyone alive. While Rogan was firing shots, Katt Williams was taking a different route during his sit-down with Sherry Shepherd. Most fans expected him to rip the band-aid off and dive straight into the scandals tied to his own name. Instead, Katt played it cool, way cooler than anyone thought he would. He spent his time teasing the launch of his brand new studio in Mississippi, calling it a major move that would finally give him the freedom and control he's been chasing his whole career. It sounded like a victory lap for his future, but what he didn't talk about, that was the part that left jaws dropping. Katt completely sidestepped the devastating tragedy surrounding his longtime tour partner and close friend, Reggie Carroll. Carroll's life was cut short in a shocking twist, gunned down by none other than Katt's former bodyguard. That connection alone had fans on edge, waiting for Katt to at least acknowledge the heartbreak, maybe even clear the air. But instead, there was nothing. Total silence. For an audience that was still reeling from the fresh headlines, that silence wasn't just noticeable, it was deafening. And the mystery only keeps growing. To this day, no new details have surfaced about Carroll's killing. No clear answers, no closure, just whispers and heavy speculation. Fans who tuned in for Katt's take were left stunned when he pivoted away, focusing instead on what's coming next in his career. After the cameras shut off, Williams confirmed his upcoming tour, Heaven on Earth, is already locked in, and he revealed a brand new comedy special will follow right after. Now, a lot of people are convinced Katt is playing chess, not checkers. They believe he's saving his rawest, most unfiltered thoughts for the stage, the place where he's always been the most dangerous and the most powerful. When those lights go down and the mic is in his hand, that's when the real truth bombs could drop. And judging by his silence now, fans know he's holding on to something big. This latest move has the streets buzzing like crazy. Everybody's asking the same question. Is Katt Williams finally going to use that stage to air out the mess? Or is he planning to keep ducking the personal drama and let his silence make all the noise? The suspense is eating people alive because Katt has never been the type to play it safe. So the fact that he's keeping quiet now has folks convinced he's cooking up something explosive. Fans are dissecting every interview, every teaser, every little slip of a word, hoping for a clue. Some swear his next tour will be the place where he finally rips the lid off the controversies swirling around him, from the free speech battles to the tragedy of Reggie Carroll. Others think Katt's going to flip the script, staying silent on the scandals and using the spotlight to remind everyone that he's still the king of raw, untouchable comedy. Either way, one thing's crystal clear: the anticipation is hitting a fever pitch. People aren't just waiting for jokes this time. They're waiting for revelations, for shock value, for the kind of truth bombs only Katt can deliver. Every single step he takes now is being watched, and fans are bracing themselves for whatever wild storm he's about to unleash next.